Hi, gang. Hello, hello. Here is your Friday poll question at Smerconish.com. Please go to the website and cast your ballot on this. Should Maine voters reject Graham Platner for his skull and crossbones tattoo? Should Maine voters reject him on that basis alone? Or, as the Wall Street Journal editorial said, did you hear the one about Bernie Sanders backed Senate candidate with a Nazi SS emblem tattooed on his chest? Alas, the case of Maine's Graham Platner, a critic of Israel and its supporters, is no joke. So far, Democrats have stood by him. More on that in a moment. Thank you to my friends at Parks Casino in Shippensburg. Great time to be driving in central and south central Pennsylvania and looking at the beautiful foliage. Take a drive to Parks Casino in Shippensburg and do some mingling. If you're in Hagerstown, Maryland, Martinsburg, West Virginia, the nearby Pennsylvania towns of Chambersburg, Carlisle, and Greencastle, they've got lots going on, including tonight, Friday night, 8 p.m., comedian Pat House, headlines with special guest, lawyer by day, comedian by night, Karen Kunick. And then Monday, military veterans are saluted at Parks Casino. Every Tuesday, it's Parks Casino 50% gold discount. There's always a mingling opportunity at Parks Casino in Shippensburg. Get in on the action. Parks Casino Shippensburg off Interstate 81. Visit Parks, P-A-R-X Casino.com. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So we talked about it on Thursday on radio. The very latest from the Associated Press is this. His U.S. Senate campaign under fire, Maine Democrat Graham Platner said a tattoo on his chest had been covered to no longer reflect an image widely recognized as a Nazi symbol. The first time political candidate said he got the skull and crossbones tattoo in 2007 when he was in his 20s and in the Marine Corps. It happened during a night of drinking while he was on leave in Croatia, adding that he was unaware until recently that the image had been associated with Nazi police. The revelation Wednesday that the tattoo had been hastily covered up is just the latest bizarre twist that in the high stakes Senate race that has taken in the past 10 days. The unfolding drama has so far included a sweep of old internet posts, a drunken video of Platner in his underwear, and now the urgently edited tattoo. To which I would add, oh my God, what a week it has been. Think about this. We had the New York, they call them young Republicans. Are they really young Republicans if they're in their late 20s and early 30s? I don't think so. Young Republican is like me on a college campus when I was 18 carrying a banner for Young Americans for Freedom. Anyway, you had the racist exchanges among those New York Republicans. You also had the Trump appointee who said that he had a Nazi streak and that MLK's holiday belongs in hell. So, two from Republicans. You've got the Virginia Attorney General candidate who, as a state legislator, advocated violence against political opponents. And now you've got this guy running as the Bernie Sanders progressive candidate in the U.S. Senate. This is the Susan Collins seat with the Nazi tattoo. And I am most advocating for consistency because what I don't like are the Republicans who were silent on the New York case, silent on the guy nominated to head the Office of Special Counsel, and then condemning of Platner in this instance or the Virginia AG case, or Democrats who are silent on Platner, silent on the Attorney General candidate in Virginia, but have a hell of a lot to say about the racists in New York and the guy who was nominated to be the head of the special counsel. I mean, be open to discussing each and every one of these. When I talked about this on radio on Thursday, I was overwhelmed with telephone callers, many who'd served in the military, many who are still serving in the military, saying, hey, it's not a big deal. A lot of guys do this. I have a skull and crossbones on my body. To which I say, and I think it was TC who said first, that's like the pirate defense, like, pirate. This is not my buddy Pat Croce, who is a pirate with a pirate tattoo. This is the Totenkopf. This is the Totenkopf. For the benefit of those watching me on YouTube, I'm holding it up from the ADL's website, the Anti-Defamation League. And their description says this: Death's Head Totenkopf, German for death's head or skull, and typically refers to skull and crossbones image during the Nazi era, Hitler's Schützenstaffel adopted one particular Totenkopf image as a symbol. It became the symbol of SS Totenkopf, whose purpose was to guard the concentration camps. Many original members of this organization were later transferred into and became the core of the Waffen SS division. Here's my thought on this. I'm for redemption. I'm for second chances. I'm not for professional death sentences. But in order for you to be redeemable, you got to own it. You've got to own it, and you've got to be honest and explain how you've had some type of a change in your thinking. I'm willing to accept that he was shit-faced in Croatia, out with the Marines, and everybody got a tattoo. And for whatever reason, he thought this one was appealing because he thought that it conveyed power and strength. Here's what the trial lawyer in me, here's what I think common sense causes to cast doubt on that story. It's a rather unique looking symbol. There, I'm holding it up again, okay? And what I think defies logic is the idea that for 20 years, he's gone to the beach, he's taken a shower, he's jumped into bed, and he's looked down at that tattoo and never searched for the meaning. And it's not as if, here's a different story. Here's a different story. It's not as if 20 years he got the tattoo, and then 3 years later, 5 years later, holy shit, this is what it symbolizes. I didn't know that. And he has it doctored. And now a picture has surfaced originally, from a Marine buddy or a former girlfriend. I don't know. And you say, oh my God, you put that on your body. Yeah, I did. And I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that 5 years later, when I figured it out, I had it covered up. What I'm disbelieving of is that only now, this week, as it comes to light and he's running for the US Senate, only now does he have it altered, which I just regard as an admission of guilt. Because I can't imagine that. I mean, think about it. You're on a bender, and you get a Totenkopf, and you don't know it's a Totenkopf, but you wake up and you wonder, what did I just put on my body? Don't you? Or in 20 years, somebody says something that causes you to go online and look it up. And when you go online and you look it up, what do? You immediately have it altered and you say, I hope nobody took my picture because I'm embarrassed. That's what's most troubling to me. I just think that it defies, I think it defies logic. I think it defies logic. I'm willing to be forgiving and open to redemption, but you got to show me something that causes me to believe you're worthy of that redemption. So I'm here advocating for consistency, and I am casting doubt on Platner's story as he has told it. You look at that. Have you seen the video of him? I think he's dancing at his sister's wedding, and he's not wearing a shirt. Does nobody say at the wedding, hey, what's the tat? Have you ever seen someone with a tattoo? I certainly have. That you just express genuine curiosity, not even a skull and crossbones, but just somebody's got an injury. Wow, what's that? What does that symbolize? I can think of one person in particular that I've interacted with and had a conversation with who had extensive tattoos, and I was just genuinely curious, like, why this? Why this? Why this? Yeah, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Go to Smerconish.com and cast your ballot. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and watch Mingle episode number 5 with Aiden Walker, which just dropped on Thursday night. Aiden Walker was fabulous. I'm really proud of the Mingle Project. I hope you're watching all of these different episodes at your leisure. They're all pieces of a puzzle. I hope you'll share them, turn on a friend. The conversation with Aidan Walker is all about memes and social media through the eyes of a 26-year-old expert. That would be Aidan Walker, who I met when we were both guests on Bill Maher's show. So check that out. Please go vote on the Friday poll question at Smerconish.com and tell me whether you think this is disqualifying of Graham Platner in the great state of Maine. See you, gang.